I think when people talk about romantic comedies, they almost always immediately go for the chemistry.
Yeah.
So how was the chemistry for you and Sandra from your perspective?
God, well, you know, I consider it more of even just a comedy. You know, I think and the chemistry in anything is just as integral when it's sort of a two-hander in this regard. But it was there instantaneously. I mean, I've known her for a long time. We've been friends for years, but that doesn't necessarily, you know, equal chemistry. I mean, chemistry's either there or it isn't. So thankfully, you know, our first day of rehearsal, we had, I think, scheduled 6 hours of rehearsal, and we ended up only doing about half an hour, 45 minutes, because we had it. It was there. I mean, there was nothing to work on. It was just, this is all here. We don't need to worry about it. And thank God, and that just got better and richer and stronger throughout the course of the movie.
What about with the supporting players? How about them? Because as an example, you know, your relationship, your character's relationship with Craig T. Nelson as the dad. Oh,
Yeah.
Instantaneous.
Yeah.
How critical is that for a really good romantic comedy?
Well, I mean, you have to have something anchoring it. Otherwise, you know, there has to be a strong relatability factor, and you know, I think that's something everyone can relate to. Is a very, you know, tricky familial dynamic, and that's something I certainly can relate to. And you know, with Craig, him playing my dad, it was actually perfect casting because he reminds me of my dad. You know, I mean. And I think that father-son relationships are typically pretty contentious and difficult at times, and certainly challenging. And that was easy to bring to the screen with Craig. So,
I grew up watching Betty White on TV. Mm-hmm. Is that before your time, or what's it like to have that kind of an iconic figure on the set?
Well, I mean, Betty White's earlier stuff, you know, was definitely before my time. But you know, Golden Girls was, you know. I was right there. I mean, that was the first big sitcom that I observed and kind of took note. One thing I always noticed about the Golden Girls, which I loved, was that, and I found out this was confirmed later, that their scripts were incredibly short because their reactions were so strong and they got such enormous laughs out of their reactions that it didn't leave enough room. So they basically started making the script shorter and the story smaller, and they would just let these girls just kind of go at each other. And you know, you learn a lot about comedy that way, and I think Betty White, you know, she's a person that can speak volumes with just a simple look, and that's what makes her, you know, the national treasure that she is.
And is she someone that you just immediately accept as being as your grandmother from the second that you meet her?
Yeah, I mean, she has that kind of, you know, what makes her unique though is that she has this sort of like seemingly harmless kind of vibe when you meet her, and what you realize underneath that, there's like a deeply acerbic person. I mean, she's somebody who can, you know, has a cutting wit that has been developed over years and years and years, and you know, that's the part that really makes her special, I think.
Thanks.
Right,
Good to talk to you.
All right, you too. Take it easy.